Hey everyone, it's Jess. Today I'm going to be reviewing Carrie Fisher's The Princess Diarist. This is actually the first book by Carrie Fisher I've read. I own quite a few of her books, but I've never actually sat down and given myself the chance to read them. I got this particular one for my birthday, which was about a week ago, and I've basically devoured it in the space of a day. It's a very touching, very honest story. It follows, obviously, Carrie as she filmed the first Star Wars movie, and it goes into the details of her affair with Harrison Ford. I think the thing I find most touching about this book is the honesty in it. Carrie was in a situation where she got herself in a little too deep, and she's quite frank about that. She's very apt at describing how she felt at that time and her insecurity and how much she was really struggling with her mental health at the age of 20 with no one noticing. And I'm really glad this was the first book by her I read, because she's around my age. She's experienced a lot of the things I have experienced, and overall that makes for a really solid narrative and a really important story, I think, that needed to be shared. I find one of the things that really got to me about this book was it's quite tragic. It's a very sad book, particularly in retrospect of her death. Obviously, Carrie died in December, about 7 months ago now. And throughout the book, she makes joking references to what people should say if she dies and what people should do if she dies. And in retrospect, it is quite sad and quite confronting in a way, because it's the story of this beautiful, strong, independent, wonderful, brave woman who did her best all through her life to be honest about her health, to be honest about her mental health, and to give people somebody to not only look up to, but to humanize, to see her as a person, not as Princess Leia. And it's incredibly touching. It's just a really honest, beautiful book. It has some stunning lines in it that absolutely threw me for a loop when I read them, because they're just so profound, particularly the things she wrote when she was 20. If I could be half as good of a writer as she is and was, then my career would take off like that. She's honest, very emotive, very powerful in what she says. It's all quite deliberate and sort of done with a sense of self-awareness. You know, as she's writing this, or as she wrote this, that she's being quite reflective of herself, of her life, of what happened when she was 20 with her co-star. And you can quite obviously tell that she's always harbored feelings for Harrison, that her and Harrison Ford were great friends, and that their story never quite got the closure that I think she wanted it to, or even that he wanted it to, which sort of adds to the sadness. It's a very serious book, but also very funny. Carrie pokes fun at herself, pokes fun at Harrison quite a bit, and just tells a really honest story about a time in her life when things weren't okay. And more importantly, she makes it obvious that not only were things not okay, but that it was okay that things weren't okay. That not being okay is a normal, acceptable thing to be, and that being honest is usually the best policy. I really strongly recommend this book for anyone who has ever felt lonely, has ever felt like they were in love with someone they shouldn't be, who didn't know what to do with their life, and for anyone who loves Princess Leia, Star Wars, and Carrie Fisher, because it's a very insightful story, and I think it adds a certain level of depth to everybody in the film that you may not otherwise get. So yeah, I strongly recommend this book. I give it a solid 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's a really, really touching story. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you next time. Bye!